It's Tuesday, April the 25th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today evening update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, misleading. That's how Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite has described the Barbados' listing by the United States State Department as a major money laundering country based on 2016 reporting. In fact, in a statement released today by the Barbados Government Information Service, the Office of the Attorney General said, while the report cited a number of generic methods of money laundering that may be found in any country, the island's best intelligence does not support the view that they are at proportions which would have a significant impact on the local economy or cause the faintest ripple in the international financial sector. It's back to court on May 9th for attorney-at-law David Commercion and legal representatives for government and the developers of the now-stalled Hyatt-centric project. Our Fernella Wedderburn reports that the controversial Hyatt-centric hotel project has hit another legal snag.
This morning, a decision was made in the High Court to delay consideration of the interim order that was recently granted to attorney-at-law David Commercion that has essentially brought the multi-million-dollar construction at Bay Street, St. Michael's to a screeching halt. When the matter came up before Justice Randall Worrell in the No. 9 Supreme Court this morning for hearing, attorneys on both sides, including Deputy Solicitor General Donna Brathwaite, who is representing Prime Minister Frandos Stewart, agreed to postpone hearings on the interim order until May 9, when the substantive court case is due to be heard by Madam Justice Sonia Richards. Mr. Commercion made the disclosure to reporters on the steps of the courthouse after this morning's brief court session.
It was agreed across the board that inasmuch as the substantive application is set down before a different judge in 2 weeks' time, that rather than having one judge deal with this interlocutory application and then another judge in just 2 weeks' time dealing with the substantive application, it was agreed that rather than proceeding today, that we will leave everything to the hearing on the 9th of May before the judge who has been assigned the substantive matter.
Commission is challenging government's decision not to conduct an environmental impact assessment on the multi-million-dollar beachfront development. Reporting for Barbados Today, Fernella Wedderburn.
In other news now, the Hospitality Institute of the Barbados Community College is experiencing financial problems. Deputy Principal Dr. Cheryl Weeks says the Institute's contingency fund, which was established to help struggling parents pay fees for students, had hit rock bottom.
When you as a parent want to have your child study, but you are struggling paying the bills, even though it may only be $400 a year, finding that money for some students is difficult. Throughout the years, we would have had what we call a contingency fund that we were able to assist some students who were having financial difficulties. But of course, that fund is almost at zero. So really, we need corporate Barbados to come on board, offer these scholarships, offer funding that we can help these students, our young people who really want to develop themselves, but financially they're not able.
Dr. Weeks was speaking on the sidelines of the annual Culinary Tourism Scholarships to 2 students of the Institute at the Palm Marine this morning. Addressing the forum, Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Tourism Product Authority, Dr. Kerry Hall, noted that the importance of safeguarding the island's bread and butter tourism industry.
We have to ensure that everything we do is sustainable. And the only way tourism is going to be sustainable is if we turn to you, the next generation. The next generation of tourism leaders are in this room, and we're turning to you to say we want to give you that leg up to ensure the future of tourism in this country. The major foreign exchange earner, the only hope this economy has right now for pulling itself back from the precipice is tourism.
Opposition leader Mia Motley has called for an increase in the 30 seats in the lower house of Parliament. Addressing a meeting of her Barbados Labour Party's voter education series at the St. John the Baptist Church in St. James last night, Motley thinks the increase would allow for greater checks and balances on the executive in Parliament.
Can you effectively have Parliament as a check and balance on the executive when the executive is the largest single bloc in Parliament? Are you with me? So that the first question we have to do is, how do we allow Parliament to be an effective check and balance on the executive, especially an executive that has gone AWOL like this one that we now have in Barbados? It means that we may have to consider increasing the numbers. But rather than reducing the size of constituencies to make them more vulnerable to vote buying, because the smaller the unit, the easier it is to buy votes. Sandra, you saw it. What we need to do, and remember, I said who speaks for who? For Barbados. We need a category of member of parliament called national members of parliament. They're known to in Guyana. They're known to in New Zealand. But we need to do it in a way where you, the voter, retain the right to choose and not the political party to appoint on the basis of proportional representation.
Popular comedian, actor, and entertainer Antoine Brother Daddy Williams has been diagnosed with colon cancer and is in dire need of some $200,000 to undertake corrective surgery. Several leading entertainers are therefore spearheading a fundraising drive to assist in achieving this target. Williams is one of the two voices heard every year, along with Margaret Allman Goddard, describing the costume bands that passed through the National Stadium during Grand Kadooment. In sports, the West Indies were beaten today by 7 wickets by the visiting Pakistanis in their first test at Sabina Park, Jamaica. Batting first, West Indies made 286. In reply, the visitors scored 407, thus benefiting from a first innings lead of 121. Now, during their time at the wicket in the second innings, the home side were only able to accumulate 152, giving Pakistan 31 runs to win. Pakistan made 36 for 3. The second of the 3-test series takes place in Barbados on Sunday.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Good morning, Phillips and Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for 1 year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody ain't want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Ma'am, are you still there? Oh, she put down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. Guyana is no longer the suicide capital of the world. Latest statistics released by the World Health Organization reveal that Guyana has dropped from number 1 to number 4 in the world. Ayana George reports.
According to crude statistics released by the World Health Organization on April 4th, Guyana is no longer the suicide capital of the world, having fallen to 4th place.
Yes, it's not satisfactory what we've heard, but I am hopeful. I'm happy to hear that we have decreased, even though the decrease is not, as much as we would like to see. Yet I see this as a good sign.
Executive Director of the Guyana Responsible Parenthood Association, Patricia Bisnot. She noted that although the latest tabulations indicate a steadily rising rate of suicide in Guyana, there is notable decrease in suicides, which indicates that the various systems put in place have been effective.
We don't have enough professionals at all, and so there is a need for more professionals, psychiatrists, but also the need for counselors, the need for hotlines that really work, where people can get some help for themselves or some member of their family or a friend or someone they know who is contemplating suicide.
And on the international scene, the White House has informed a U.S. Congressional committee that it will not comply with a request to release documents related to a former aide. It rebuffed a request by the House Oversight Committee, which is probing payments received by former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. The committee chair said Flynn failed to comply with the law in not disclosing the payments.
Personally, I see no information or no data to support the notion that General Flynn complied with the law, and that is he was supposed to seek permission and receive permission from both the Secretary of State and the Secretary of the Army prior to traveling to Russia to not only accept that payment, but to engage in that activity. I see no evidence that he actually did that.
And that's news and the sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and the gas stations near you, as well as the Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.